So 7 p.m., calling the Monday, August 22nd, 2024 meeting of the Ayer Board of Health to order. This is a hybrid meeting. And does somebody want to read the...
I know it by heart now. I mean, this meeting or hearing of the Board of Health will be held in person at the location provided on this notice. Members of the public are welcome to attend this in-person meeting. Please note that while an option for remote attendance and/or participation via Zoom is being provided as a courtesy to the public, the meeting or hearing will not be suspended or terminated if technological problems interrupt the virtual broadcast unless otherwise required by law. Members of the public with particular interest in a specific item on this agenda should make plans for in-person versus virtual attendance. This meeting will be live on Zoom. The public may access the proceeding by joining Zoom meeting ID 880-9915-1478 or by calling 301-715-8592. For additional information about remote participation, please contact Samantha Benoit or Pam Papineau, Administrative Coordinator at espenoit@ayer.mass.us or 978-772-8220, extension 145, prior to the meeting.
Thank you very much.
I ad-libbed a little bit, but...
Oh, that's right. You didn't go too far. That's good. General public input? Anything other than 17 Taft Street? I don't see much of a public. Okay, I'm going to take that as a no.
Bridget's not going to be here, or she is?
Bridget is calling in. Is she...
She's not on yet.
We know if she's... Okay, I have the email with her inspection results if she doesn't join us. But we can get started, I think. Would you like to come up, Ms. Jackson or Attorney Burke? So just to kind of catch everyone up to speed on what happened, from the last meeting, we talked about the list of violations that were in Bridget's order of July 11th. And talked about the fact that there were just a couple of things there that really were critical to being able to go back and reside in the property. And that was the issue with the doorknob or lock on the front door, or securing the front door, and the stove. So the reinspection on that was done today, and I think Bridget's now on and can speak for herself, but the stove and the front door lock have been corrected. Bridget, that is correct?
Yes. Are you muted?
Muted?
Yeah, she
Might be muted, Bridget.
Nope, she's still connecting.
Okay, she might still be connecting. I have, and I have her
She's
email.
muted.
Okay, now you're muted, Bridget. Bridget, unmute.
Oh, there you are.
Hello, Bridget. So I was just giving the quick intro that went back today. The two issues that were, I guess, non-waivable, whatever, from the health code were the front door being secure and the stove, and that you did that reinspection today, and those two issues were corrected, right?
Correct.
Okay. So, where we are, what is that? Someone's shaving their cat or something. What the?
Might be that person that said something to me the other day.
Oh yeah. It's like a hair clippers or something, it sounds like. Okay, whatever. So what we have left from so Bridget's order of July 11th contained how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 items. 2 of which we cleared today, and the remainder are actually not of a nature that would prevent you from going back and residing in the residential portion of the house. Not in the basement. And thank you very much for the updated mold report. It's exactly what I was looking for. Thank you. References, great, perfect. So that's going to go in the file. So I think from the sanitary code standpoint, as far as occupancy is concerned, that's something that we could entertain if you wanted to make that request that you be allowed to go back and live in the property while you continue to work on these outstanding items.
We would like to do that.
Excuse me,
Okay.
Madam Chairperson, I have a question for our town council, Janelle, if she would be so kind.
Good evening. Yes, of course. Thank you. Through the chair.
Janelle, if a motion is made, will the motion be to allow to reoccupy? Is that how the motion would read, but not lifting the condemnation order? Is that correct?
So in my opinion, the board would need to make a determination tonight based on the current condition of the property following Bridget's reinspection, whether or not the condemnation order would be lifted.
So it lifts the entire order?
However,
No?
yes, however, in doing so, in my opinion, the board does have the flexibility to clarify, although the property essentially could be or is deemed fit
was
for
heard in
human
this
habitation,
morning
if the board is so
like that.
inclined, that the property owner is still required to correct the remaining sanitary code violations that exist as a result of the reinspection, and allow the board to have continued oversight over those remaining matters.
Okay.
Thank you. I
Okay, yeah.
didn't see the email.
Yeah, that was, your email from this morning, Janelle, contained some, I think, language that, we're just trying to get the language of this right, because so data is one thing, I am not an attorney, so this is way outside of my realm.
You turned your microphone off.
Turn it off?
Yeah.
I wanted to hear.
Thank you.
Secret
So
conversations.
I can certainly walk the board through it if that's helpful through the chair. I am sort of conscious of not waiving privilege with respect to the email that was provided.
Yeah, exactly.
This morning. But essentially, it would be my opinion that the board could lift the condemnation of the property under the provisions of the sanitary code, which states essentially that the property has previously been condemned. And so to do so at tonight's meeting, you would discuss essentially the property's progress through compliance and determine whether or not the property is fit for human habitation, but may want to still clarify the remaining issues that exist at the property. I would note that Attorney Burke did provide a further update about other items that were being reviewed in good faith. So the board could certainly inquire directly as to those issues and a timeline for completion of same.
Okay, all right, got you. Before we get into that, do either of you, is there any discussion on like just what we saw this morning and the, status
No.
of the, having sort of what I would call critical findings versus?
I feel comfortable that if you saw fit that they had met the requirements that were non-waivable, then I would be comfortable moving forward this evening, as town council has suggested.
Okay, and that's not an issue, correct? That you acknowledge, I'm sure that the issues from that July 11th letter are still, they're ongoing and those need to be resolved.
There are other ongoing things. Yeah, actually, the covers to the sockets have all been done as well. And,
Yeah.
some of the simple things like that, so.
Yeah, there were a couple of things in here that, what I would suggest is that you'll have it looks like a date, you'll be able to fill in a date for the plumber, so just submit this as your plan for going forward with dates.
Yeah, I did submit like a draft agreement that I guess that didn't quite make it through. But we will be addressing it. What I can do is I can continue to keep Attorney Austin updated like I have been doing all along, essentially telling her what's going on and what's been done and things like that. So we will continue to do that. But can I just probably through the chair to ask Attorney Austin is, if you allow her back in, then the condemnation order is lifted, and there's just what remains is the outstanding other issues that have not elevated to that of requiring a condemnation order. Is that correct? I just want to get some clarity on that, because it's like, I'm not clear on it, because it sounds like the condemnation orders, it would be lifted if you allow her to move in, and yet I'm hearing like a sort of Damocles hanging over the head, and I want to make sure that, condemnation isn't the remedy that you look for if it takes some time to get the other things done. And now I admit they're simple, they're smaller items compared to what we've addressed over the last 5.5 months, and which was monumental, and required, 6 figures of money from a woman that's, limited fixed income, if you will.
Right.
So we are still working towards everything else, and we will continue to make a very good faith effort to do so. And so we're hoping that we can get some of the big item with the basement done sooner than later. But we are working on it. And like I said before, we don't want to buy the Rolls Royce if we can get the Volkswagen.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I would encourage you to turn that proposal in. I guess the format wasn't correct, being in agreement, but it's good in terms of a proposed plan. This is what's going to happen. This is going to happen on a certain date.
Right.
And then if things change, if dates change, to keep that updated so that we're on the same page with what's being done, and then eventually those issues as they come into a compliance are cleared, and then that order to correct goes away because everything's been corrected.
Good.
So that's where we want to get to.
Fair enough.
Through the chair, if I may, just to respond briefly, Madam Chair.
Yes.
So in my opinion, if the board is so inclined to lift the order, essentially it's making a determination that at this time the property is fit for human habitation, given the remediation work that was conducted. But in my opinion, the property owner is still required to correct the remaining violations that exist.
Yep.
And I do recommend that, in any vote that is taken tonight, the board formally incorporate a list of the outstanding violations, and I know some have been done, and Attorney Burke has kept the town updated with respect to those violations in a timeline for completion of same, because that has been provided to the property owner. So I just want to be clear about that particular point in light of what Attorney Burke had mentioned.
Yeah, that's a good point. So this is dated July 11th, and I believe it's 30 days from when you receive it to have fixed everything that's in here. So if everything is done within those 30 days, then you can submit the plan that it is done. If you know it's going to take longer, you can submit the plan with other dates in it. But that allows us to kind of monitor this to completion.
What was the date on Thursday?
Last Thursday?
Yeah.
17th, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, the reason why I say, because we had the meeting, and that's when I got the written formal report.
Yeah, it was
The 18th.
this went certified. Bridget or Sam, do you know when you picked it up?
I haven't yet.
Certified? You haven't picked it up? Okay. Yeah, so I guess then it would be last,
Thursday, the 18th, and just take it from there. It's 7 days.
was
but-
that actually Thursday? God, it seems like so long ago now. Yeah, okay.
Madam Chair, I'm not hung up by a week.
Yeah. No,
I'm not
that's fine.
splitting it, no.
Yeah, that's agreed to.
Let's just
Yeah.
move forward and stop with the
Yeah.
nonsense.
Yeah.
If an order is, a motion is appropriate, Madam Chair,
I believe a motion is appropriate.
I would move that we lift the condemnation order based on the fact that the property has been deemed fit for human habitation. And then I guess we would allow reoccupancy. And I'd like to have a discussion if that motion's seconded.
I second it.
Is that appropriate, through the chair to town council?
That's an appropriate motion.
Okay.
Yeah,
In my opinion, correct, with respect to the condemnation. Okay.
Okay.
So, Madam Chair, if I may, I would like a letter submitted that has dates for completion within the requirements of August 11th, 17th, or 20th,
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
the
yeah.
day is, it doesn't make any difference. And that be submitted through council back to the town.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what we would do here, is that you would get a written notification that would list these remaining items. I'm fine with going with last Thursday's date as the date that you received it. And then we're on that, it's a 30-day order to correct those things, so submit the plan, get it to us, you know, in advance of the 30th day, so that we can at least take a look at it.
Oh, we'll do our best. We were only given 14 days on the condemnation order, so,
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
so, fair enough.
Okay. Was that,
I made a motion.
That was the
she
motion on the
seconded it,
table. You
That was
seconded it.
discussion.
And we discussed.
Yeah.
and I think the other point, I don't know if I need to amend that or not, is that we say that subject to continuing to correct the issues from, in the outstanding order
If
to
you think it needs
correct.
to be amended, I have no problem with that.
Okay,
Whatever.
yeah, then I would amend your motion.
So you're making a motion to amend a motion. We have to vote on that, on the amendment,
Okay,
before you can vote on the main motion.
thank you so much, Steve. I cannot keep this straight.
So I would move to amend my motion to include the language that the chair just inserted.
I second that.
All right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Of the amendment,
Of the amendment?
right?
Yep.
Okay,
And then the
Now.
motion as amended is to allow reoccupancy.
yeah, reoccupancy subject to
To
correcting the issues. Okay, perfect. Okay, motion,
I made the motions, aye.
Yeah.
That's the vote.
second?
Second.
We already did all this.
Yeah, we did this.
We did this one
Yeah, so
already.
you just need to vote. That's
Okay, all right, aye. Let's do a voice vote,
Okay.
just for the heck of it.
Swansky, aye.
Aye.
Chair says aye. Okay,
That's it.
you're all set. We will get you something in writing.
Is it all right if she starts moving in tomorrow?
For tonight, that's up to you.
Get your sleeping bag?
I planned on it.
Good. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Done a lot of work.
All right.
Thank you all. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Janelle.
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 Okay, we don't have a whole lot of other stuff on the agenda. I just put Sandy Pond Beach on because of the closing for the E. coli, so I just wanted Bridget to give a really quick explanation there for the public's benefit and, you know, what is the program and how often do we test and what are the criteria? So take it away, Bridget.
So, we got the test results back and they came back at 13, which is well below the limit at this outflow. So it's really, there's no issue in that area.
Okay, so back up just a little bit. The closing of the beach happened
Yeah.
because that's routine testing that we do on behalf of the state, right? And that's like once a week or?
Correct. We test every Monday.
Okay,
Obviously, unless it's pouring rain.
Yeah.
If the results come back high,
Yeah.
then we go back and we retest. And then what happens is if you have consistent high amounts, that can affect the geo mean closing the beach until
Yeah.
you get that back down. And so that's where we were at last week.
yeah,
Or the week before, and what can happen is it can be geese, which were definitely present at the beach. It could be from bather overload, things stirring up the pond, heavy rains, things like that. So it really depends on what's going on. But the results went back down, beach was reopened.
Yeah.
And we did, at the request of Steve, test the water at the spillway.
and
Yeah.
that's the one you're
That-
referring there.
Yes, that came back at 13, indicating there's
Really?
nothing.
Yeah.
So, Madam Chair, if I might suggest, if there get a positive hit at the beach that would close the beach, that the outflow be tested as well at that time.
And that closing the beach thing, Bridget, it's not a one test thing, right? You're saying it's actually I think it's the mean of the average of like the last 5 readings or?
I can check. So in full disclosure, I don't do the beach samples, I just watch the results come in. So I'm
Yeah,
not sure how
yeah.
many it takes, but if, again, if they come back and they're really high, it can affect the geomean, and then we keep retesting every day until it goes back down.
Yeah, I guess that's my only concern with it is what, like, conclusions people can draw from that information.
I totally get that, but I think not having that, people assume that the pond is contaminated, and that's not the case either. We don't know that is.
We don't, that's right. Yeah.
But it's not even thought that that's happening. It's thought that what's happening is the geese are contaminating the beach, and that's why we have high E. coli.
Yeah.
If
Those
property...
tests, those water samples are taken right at the beach, right?
Right,
Bridget?
but
Yeah.
if property
Yes.
owners want to test the beach in front of their house, they can certainly do that as well.
Yep.
But I just think it's a small price to pay, and the outflow is where all the water from the pond eventually goes.
Yeah, it gives you an
drains
idea
there.
what,
What's
the
going
overall
on.
load is, yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
at $50, we don't know if we'll even do it or not. I just
Yeah,
think it's a small
yeah.
price to pay to
Yeah, I
get
guess
some
what,
understanding.
what I'm trying to figure out is, so if we do that, if we say every time there's a high number, do we mean every time the beach gets closed?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
That's all, yeah.
Yeah, that probably would not be a burdensome thing. I mean, it does not happen all that often. And if a property owner, if you really, really want to be sure, and you have, property down there, I think anybody can go there, right, Bridget, to that lab?
Yes, anybody can take a sample and bring it to the lab.
Okay, so you can have, if you want to have the water tested right there at your own, beach or dock or whatever, you can. But yeah, I think that's not a bad idea.
Okay.
Okay.
I have had people asking me about that, and it's like,
Yeah.
I think there's confusion.
Yeah, I would just, make sure that people understand that there's a ton of information, and that's the only reason I even found this thing about the mean of the 5 samples. There is a ton of information on the mass.gov website. So if you just look at water, bathing beaches, water quality,
Yeah.
it's not under Department of Public Health. It was under some other group, but, it gives what the limits are and what organisms they look at.
Sure.
So, yeah, okay. All righty, Sandy Pond Beach. Call log.
Oh,
What's going on? Call log.
things have been going on.
Rats.
Rats. Yeah. Things.
That's an interesting question. Pantry moths.
Yeah, I don't. Yep.
I have no idea. Okay, so that went to Neshoba. Yeah, that went to Neshoba. Okay, the PACE update, this is an update on the outcome of their study?
Yeah, so Lori wanted to give an update on the outcome of the study. Also, Lori Nearing will be retiring from PACE.
Yeah, I know.
So she sort of is going to all boards and sort of giving her final,
Well, that's the end of an era.
please, someone take up.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
She said she'd be interested in September. She will not be around for August, so.
Okay, all right. So we'll keep an eye out.
What's the complaint of pantry moths? What's that all about?
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. I don't know who would be, you know what those are, right?
No.
Those, they sometimes get in your flour, like they're like little weevily kind of
Is this
things, and
someone's
then they
house,
turn
or
into
is this
moths.
a business, or?
I think it
Looks-
was an apartment, which is why
yeah,
I
it
sent
looks
it
like a
over to
house.
Neshoba, but it was definitely, it sounded like I think my landlord should take care of it. My landlord thinks I should take care of it because it's my food, and it was sort of
Yeah, so it was some kind of a rental
and I wasn't
situation, yeah.
sent it over to Neshoba.
Yeah, okay.
There also was another complaint. It didn't come in for the call log. She came into my office about bird mites.
Bird what?
Bird mites,
Mites.
which I've never heard of before. And she did say that they're all over her yard, and she feels this is a Board of Health problem, though she called an exterminator. I was like, okay, I'll let them know. And that's what I got.
I have heard of
bird mites.
bird mites too.
They don't bite humans.
Can you see them? Bird mites.
I don't know. So
Okay.
either way, she wanted people to be aware. And I was
To be
like,
aware,
okay,
okay.
we will take care of that.
That is actually, sounds like an interesting thing to look at. I don't know why I've heard of them. I couldn't tell you what they
I
are.
don't know.
Okay.
Uh,
So I think we're all set with that because Bridget knows.
and
She
the,
knows all her stuff.
yeah. So there you go.
Anything else on? No.
No, and the majority of the, as usual, the majority of calls I get are for initial.
Yeah, our
calls.
furnish Alba, right. Well,
Or-
that's a good problem to have.
Or Littleton. I get a lot of phone calls for Littleton.
Oh, yeah, huh.
There has been, just sort of as a general trend, the majority of calls I have been getting for Neshoba are about medication and sharp disposal.
Ah, that is interesting. Huh.
But somebody does seem to, I don't know who's giving out the info where. There has been a lot of increase of, I was told your town hall takes it. I was told your town hall takes it. So I do spend a lot of time going, we do not do that.
Oh, interesting.
I've been trying to track down where the info's coming from. I don't know if it's someone at the hospital or somewhere else, but
Does the police department take?
I don't think they do
No.
now, but the chief said he would be open to, like participating in
Some
something that
places
does.
do,
Yeah.
I mean.
But just as a general trend of phone calls that I've been getting for Neshoba are mostly for sharp disposal. And
Huh.
Yeah, what is it, what do they charge? $10 at the one in Central Ave?
I was going to ask about that. Is it, because you get a
bin.
bucket, right, and
Yeah.
you fill it up.
Yeah.
And then it's like $10
You
and
bring
they.
it to them and then they,
Okay.
or they did, I don't.
Okay.
But there's, so I usually send them over to Neshoba. I do think
Yeah,
they still take it,
yeah,
but
yeah.
there's just been a marked increase of that question, and some where the information is that town hall takes it is
Yeah, where
out
is that
there.
coming from?
I don't know where it came from, but it's out there.
Okay, that's interesting. All right, administrative stuff, animals and fowls. Do we have more
We
permits
have-
to sign?
A straggler. One straggler. She is at 14 Pleasant Street with 12 chickens.
Okay,
She's a renewal. She did pay on time. She just didn't fill out the form in time.
okay. Do you want to,
I make a motion that we grant a permit for 12 chickens at 114 Pleasant Street.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Hey, do you have a normal color pen? I can sign this one. There's a couple of freebies. Stupid purple pen here. What's today?
It's the 22nd.
Oh my God,
I know.
can't keep this straight. And anything else going on of interest?
Anything of interest? I
Mail?
have
I know we have to vote on, I signed the bill for Neshoba.
Yes,
No, we have
sign
to
the bill
vote
for
on that.
Neshoba. I have to submit it this week now, so it's no big
Okay.
deal. But if you want to vote on the Neshoba bill,
I would move to ratify the signature of the chair.
Ooh, like that. Second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So ordered.
and then I need,
Good smooth.
I guess I need Steve's signature on this.
I already signed it.
Oh, you did for the bill? Okay, perfect. It's like, I don't know who's doing what anymore. So that was for his town cell phone. And then the only mail I got, it's of interest. I get a lot of mail. I get a lot of mail. The Board of Health gets a lot of junk mail.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Is the Central Mass Mosquito Control Project.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was,
They will be in community. Town clerk's office also gets copies of these, so that's how it ends up on the website sometimes.
yeah. I saw it
Yes,
today.
yeah, I know, it does. It does. Okay, great. Date for
Oh, yeah.
our next meeting. We had talked about maybe just doing the one in August, but then we were looking at what day. You guys have any,
I
can make any day work if I know far enough in advance usually.
Keep it flexible if there's really nothing of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, because summer, it's
right.
down
yeah.
to like once a month unless there's a reason to.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Again, gone from the 5th to,
So we would normally be what, the 12th and the 26th? Oh, yeah, and then we talked about the 19th, but Sam, you're not here on the 19th?
I'm here on the 19th.
Okay.
It's the 12th I'm not here.
Oh.
I'm not here
okay.
either.
On the 12th, okay. So 12th is out. So that leaves us, then we could either do the 19th or we could shoot to the 26th.
Like the 26th.
26th.
Me too.
It's okay with me.
All right,
Okay.
perfect. And
Okay.
then I will be able
26th.
Next
to.
meeting, August 26th.
Perfect. Great.
And then we'll look at the fall.
Yes, and we will have to look at the fall because the way the meetings
Yeah,
fall, I think we
yeah.
go like 9 weeks without a meeting or something.
Oh.
It's a
We
little,
get preempted a lot.
little-
Yeah. This is true. Okay, I think that's it. Anybody got anything else? Bridget, no? You guys, nothing?
I don't think she's there anymore.
No, she is. She just went
I'm
out.
good.
There you
You're
are.
good?
Yeah, you okay? All right, you're gonna take care of putting something in writing, right, for Attorney Burke?
So it's already in writing, I just,
Okay,
that order was issued, so she just has to correct the remaining ones on the list.
okay.
You want-
Okay.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah,
I can list them out for Janelle tomorrow.
yeah, okay. I guess it's just as long as Janelle gets the
Yeah.
the upshot of what happened here tonight. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bridget.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks, Sam.
To adjourn?
Absolutely.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned.